Today we're diving into the glitz, glam, and groove of the 1970s, with a countdown of the top 10 disco and funk songs that made that decade unforgettable. These tracks didn't just get people dancing, they defined an era. So, let's jump right into it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get up.
All right, kicking things off is the godfather of soul himself, James Brown. Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine was released in July 1970 and quickly became an anthem. Brown co-wrote this funk masterpiece with his bandleader, Bobby Bird, and it was all about that signature groove. The song's origin? Brown was all about improvisation, and this track was a result of just jamming with his band, the JBs. It's raw, powerful, and you can feel every ounce of energy in it. It set the stage for funk in the 70s.
Get up. Get on up. Get up. Get on up.
Now, coming in at number 9 is the Queen of Disco, Donna Summer, with I Feel Love. This track, released in July 1977, is a disco classic that was light years ahead of its time. Giorgio Moroder, the legendary producer, co-wrote the song and brought in a completely new sound by using electronic beats. It's considered one of the first tracks to really push the boundaries of electronic dance music. The song's hypnotic beat and Donna's ethereal vocals made it an instant hit, revolutionizing the disco scene. Next up, we've got Patrick Hernandez with Born to Be Alive, a song that practically screams disco. Released in November 1978 in France and gaining international fame in 1979, this track was written by Hernandez himself. The song was actually a slow ballad at first, but after some convincing, it was sped up, giving us that high-energy vibe we all know and love. It's one of those tracks that just makes you want to dance, no matter where you are. At number 7, we've got KC and the Sunshine Band with Get Down Tonight. Released in April 1975, this track was an instant success. Harry Wayne Casey, better known as KC, co-wrote the song with his bandmate Richard Finch. The story goes that they were experimenting with the speed of the guitar riffs, and when they played it faster, the magic happened. This song's infectious energy and catchy lyrics made it a disco staple. Number 6 is Disco Inferno by the Tramps, released in December 1976. This song was inspired by the movie The Towering Inferno, hence the fiery theme. Written by Leroy Green and Ron Kersey, the track didn't just dominate the dance floors, it also became a key part of the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. The Burn Baby Burn chorus is legendary, and it's one of those songs that truly encapsulates the disco era. Before we move on to the number 5 spot on our list, let me know in the comments what disco and funk songs you think are the best from the 1970s. And if you're enjoying the list so far, be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. Your support helps keep this channel going and ensures you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Let's get back to it. Halfway through the list, we've got Lip Sync with Funky Town, released in December 1979. Written by Steven Greenberg, this track was all about wanting to leave the Midwest and head to the big city. Basically, the ultimate escape anthem. The song's catchy synth riffs and infectious beat made it a hit on the charts, reaching number 1 in 28 countries. It's a track that just won't quit, no matter how many times you hear it. Sliding in at number 4 is the Bee Gees with Night Fever, one of the most iconic disco tracks of all time. Released in February 1978, this song was written by the Gibb brothers, Barry, Robin, and Maurice. It became synonymous with the disco era, especially after being featured on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. The song was actually inspired by another Bee Gees track, You Should Be Dancing, and its smooth groove and falsetto harmonies made it an instant classic. Speaking of the Bee Gees, number 3 is Stayin' Alive, released in December 1977. This song became the anthem of the disco movement and the defining track of the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. The Gibb brothers wrote this song during a particularly tough time, and it's all about survival and resilience. The iconic bass line was created using a loop, which was groundbreaking at the time. Stayin' Alive isn't just a song, it's a cultural phenomenon. At number 2, we have Chic with Le Freak, released in September 1978. Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards wrote this track, and it's got a pretty funny origin story. The song was inspired by a night when Rodgers and Edwards were denied entry to Studio 54, the famous nightclub. Originally, the chorus was something much more explicit, but they changed it to Freak Out, and the rest is history. Le Freak became Chic's biggest hit, and it's still a dance floor favorite. And finally, at number 1, the ultimate disco anthem, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, released in October 1978. This song was written by Freddie Perren and Dino Fakaris and was initially just a B-side to another track. But when DJs started playing it, people couldn't get enough. The song's powerful message of resilience and strength struck a chord, especially with the LGBTQ+ community. I Will Survive isn't just a song. It's an anthem for anyone who's ever faced a challenge and came out stronger. And there you have it, our top 10 disco and funk songs of the 1970s. These tracks not only defined a decade, but also left a lasting impact on music and culture. If you enjoyed this list, you might want to check out this video. See you next time.